At every corner, the world is full of traps lurking to undermine masculine power. Just look at the promoted movies and Netflix shows or today's idols. Nothing escapes the elite's agenda of mental control. Men are being subjected to brainwashing to embrace weakness. An emblematic story illustrates this point. Once upon a time, there was a lion feared for its ferocity, but it fell in love with a farmer's daughter. However, upon learning about the lion's love for his daughter, the farmer aimed to hinder it. Cunningly, he imposed a condition. The lion had to give up its sharp claws for the daughter's safety. Thinking of the great reward, the lion agreed and rid itself of its claws on a rock. The next day, without claws, the lion approached the farmer and asked for his daughter's hand. But the farmer, even more cunning, demanded the lion also rid itself of its sharp teeth and fangs. Despite this, when the lion returned the next day, the farmer attacked and killed him. This time, stripped of its claws and sharp teeth, the lion had no defense. Everything that gave it strength was voluntarily surrendered, one by one. This story reminds us that the current world isn't so different. Greater forces are at play, meticulously designing a matrix to enslave us to our impulses and desires. The harsh truth is that, although we may blame the farmer or the elites, in the end, it was the lion who chose to voluntarily surrender its strength. The virtue of strength is something all men should pursue, whether in their career, financially, or romantically. Naturally, we yearn to feel dominant, strong, and powerful because that's who we are. However, many of us fail to maintain that strength because we indulge in behaviors that weaken us. Today, many men complain instead of taking action, spend money on vices like drugs and pornography, apologize for unnecessary things, and adopt habits that weaken rather than strengthen them. Point number 1. The first crucial point is to avoid mocking others. As a man of worth, belittling others should never be a way to elevate your own status. This behavior can reflect insecurity and lack of respect. It's a fundamental aspect often overlooked when discussing true masculinity. Perhaps you're familiar with the metaphor of the crab bucket. When one tries to escape, the others pull them back. Similarly, when someone seeks to better their life or achieve goals, others may feel uncomfortable or jealous. This attitude is neither constructive nor honorable. If you find yourself mocking others, remember that it places you beneath them. This doesn't mean you should ignore someone's mistakes. However, ridicule is not the path. As a man, your role is to teach and guide your peers without resentment or hidden agendas. Offering constructive criticism and valuable advice fosters learning and mutual growth. Strong and confident men don't belittle others. As Mike Tyson aptly said, social media has created a sense of impunity for demeaning people without fear of facing physical consequences. Point number 2. Another key point is the inability to take responsibility. Returning to the story of the lion and the farmer's daughter, the primary reason for the lion's ultimate loss lay in its lack of awareness of its responsibility. Its duty was to live as a lion, and its prey and sharp claws were an intrinsic part of its identity. However, it forgot this responsibility and chose to abandon it. This is reflected in our lives. Assuming our responsibilities with pride is fundamental. These responsibilities are not a burden but an essential part of our existence. Let's say together, I will honor my responsibilities with pride because they define my masculinity. The day you choose to flee from your responsibilities is the day you completely abandon your masculinity. Memorize this quote: "The price of greatness is responsibility." This principle not only strengthens our identity as men, but also contributes to the well-being of those around us. Responsibility should not be avoided or discarded. Rather, it should be embraced as the path to greatness and the realization of our potential as men. Point number 3. The tendency to flee from failure is a common challenge for many men today. Mostly, they opt for comfort instead of seeking growth. It's important to remember that growth is often hidden behind failure and frequently involves pain. There's a well-known story about a man digging for diamonds. Initially, all he saw was more dirt each time he dug, but he persisted. After hours or even days, he finally found what he was looking for. This story reminds us that failure does not mark the end. If you adopt that mindset, you're guaranteed not to achieve success in anything. Imagine starting a business. Initially, you'll face failures as you learn and navigate your way with clients. But if you stay in the game long enough, without being discouraged by those temporary failures, you'll experience growth. The same goes for relationships. Initially, you might feel uncomfortable approaching women, but behind those temporary failures lies your potential for success. As men, we're often taught to feel ashamed of our mistakes and failures. We're conditioned to justify them by blaming others. However, these thoughts only reflect the mindset of a loser. Here's a quote to remember and jot down if you wish. A weak man is one who blames his failure on the strength of others. Point number 4. Differentiating between a coward and a man of valor is simple. The coward aligns with the majority, even if they are wrong. What's worse is that they expect the man of valor to also submit to useless and harmful laws and regulations. A man of valor analyzes and evaluates everything before moving forward. In today's world, we're conditioned to believe that we shouldn't judge or question, turning us into puppets and lab mice, submissive to unquestioned agendas and laws. There's no issue in obeying, but do so only if it aligns with your purpose and mission. Remember, beyond God, nothing is above the law of the Almighty. Do you feel intimidated and anxious to please everyone? For many men, saying no can be challenging, but acting with honesty reveals that the world won't collapse around you. I've seen many men lead married lives filled with fear, avoiding correcting or speaking with their wives as if they were tyrants. This clearly exemplifies a futile submission. Learning to say no and acting from truth can be liberating instead of falling into unjustified submission. Point number 5. Body language is crucial. It encompasses nonverbal cues like handshakes, eye contact, your posture while walking and moving during a conversation. These signals are key. They reveal whether you're perceived as a strong or weak man in today's society, where expectations might clash with traditional masculinity. Now more than ever, it's vital for men to be aware of their body language. Being intentional with your body means projecting confidence, strength, and determination. Maintain an upright and firm posture, walk with a confident stride, and maintain proper eye contact when interacting with others. Being mindful of your body language is essential to convey a masculine image. Remember, your body language is your calling card. Before uttering a single word, it can influence how others perceive and treat you. Presenting yourself as a confident and strong man through your body language reduces the likelihood of others taking advantage of you. It's an invaluable skill for any man seeking success in their personal life. Finally, I leave you with this reflection. Reflecting on why the powerful are so successful in building the matrix is essential. Every aspect and area was meticulously planned. Similarly, think about every part of your day, the people you interact with, and the type of content you consume. If you don't maintain correct thoughts in your mind, you're allowing the matrix to penetrate you. Laziness is the greatest enemy of men today. You might have thoughts about business or life, but if you don't act on them and allow laziness to gradually seep into you, it will devour you and block your progress. Always remember that laziness only succeeds against weak men. A man of high value learns to detect and correct it quickly. Stay conscious of laziness and combat it as soon as it arises. Weakness is the virtue pursued by modern society, but strength is your greatest virtue. Seek strength in every opportunity, as it's your best tool to resist the effects of laziness and progress productively in life.